Good morning, students. So we have finished the chapter Chemical Reactions. Today we are going to start a new chapter, that is carbon and its compounds. So carbon is very important. It is present in most of the components. So that is why this chapter is very important, as carbon is the most familiar and widely distributed element on the earth. And what happened is, you can see there that it is the 17th in the order of its proportion in the earth's crust. It can be placed at number 1 as in the importance of life. Now you can see that carbon is present in coal, petroleum, sugar, proteins, fats, etc. Nowadays, means till today, we know about 5 million compounds of carbon which are known to us. The name carbon is derived from the Latin word, you should know, carbo, meaning a black rock that can burn. So that is why we need to know about the carbon, what are its importance and how it behaves in. So you see, first of all, we are going to know about the position of carbon in the periodic table. As you know that carbon is placed where? In group 40 and period 2 of the periodic table. Some atomic parameters of carbon are given below. You see the atomic parameters, atomic symbol, you know, C, atomic mass 12, just remember 12 only, 12U, most of the times we are going to use 12. Atomic number 6, you know that. Melting point is 3800 Kelvin. Electronic configuration, you know, 2,4. So this is all about carbon, position of carbon. Now, this you see, occurrence of carbon. So how this carbon occurs? So let's see the occurrence of carbon. It is the 17th most abundant element by mass in the earth crust. It occurs in the free elementary as well as in the combined forms. In the free state, you know, carbon occurs as diamond, graphite in the earth. You know, the allotropes, you have, I think you know about the allotropes of carbon, but in this chapter we are going to learn allotropes and its allotropy. Okay. In some meteorites and in the sun and in the some stars. So in the sun and in some stars also carbon is present. There is what? Carbon exists in the free state. In the combined state, carbon occurs, you know, in the atmosphere, carbon dioxide, which we human being release carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. So in the atmosphere as carbon dioxide to an extent of about 0.03%. Carbon dioxide is essential for photosynthesis, you know this one. Then in the earth as carbonates such as marble, calcium carbonate, CaCO3. Here also carbon is present. Limestone, magnesite, magnesite is MgCO3, dolomite, that is CaCO3.MgCO3. This dolomite is important. You may ask in the exam that write the chemical formula of this dolomite. Okay, so just remember this. In petroleum, LPG, natural gas and CNG as hydrocarbons. Okay, in this also carbon is present. Hydrocarbons means what? The compounds containing hydrogen and carbon. This is hydrocarbons. Now coal contains carbon both in the free as well as combined state. You should know that coal contains carbon in the form of in free state also and in the combined state also. In all living bodies, like example, animals, humans, plants, etc., as life-supporting compounds such as proteins. You're going to learn about this in the higher classes about proteins, the formula of proteins, fats, carbohydrates, vitamins, DNA, deoxyribose nucleic acid, that is, etc., etc. In this also carbon is present. So this is all about the carbon which is present in here in the combined state, which you are going to learn in the higher classes, the formula of proteins, fats, etc. Okay, so for now you remember that here in this also carbon is present in the combined state. Some inorganic compounds containing carbon. You see this one? So you see some inorganic compounds containing carbon. Washing soda or sodium carbonate. Okay. In this also carbon is present. You can see Na2CO3 carbonate, CO3 carbon is there. Limestone, calcium carbide. The formula of calcium carbide is CaC2. Some organic compounds containing carbon. See, what are these inorganic compounds and organic compounds mean? Organic compounds means the compounds which we found in the living things. Okay. And inorganic means which we found in the non-living things. So here, which we found in the living things, the carbohydrates such as cane sugar is found in the living organisms. So this is organic compounds. Hydrocarbons such as methane, CH4, butane, C4H10. Then acetic acid, CH3, COOH. Okay, and ethyl alcohol. These are all examples of organic compounds which contains carbon. Now, so you know that carbon occurs in the free elemental form as diamond and graphite, and in the combined state carbon occurs as minerals like carbon dioxide, fossil fuels, and as life supporting compounds such as proteins, fats, carbohydrates, vitamins, etc. in all living things. So this is all about the occurrence of carbon. Now you know that this carbon is found in the atmosphere, inside the earth's crust, and in all living organisms. Carbon is present in fuels like wood, coal, charcoal, coke, petroleum, natural gas, biogas, etc. Carbon is present in compounds like carbonates, hydrocarbons or hydrogen carbonates, etc. Carbon is found in the free state as diamond, graphite, fullerenes, etc. Fullerenes also in this chapter, I think it's there as a topic. Let's see if it is there. We will discuss. Okay, so this is all about the free state and the combined state that is present occurrence of carbon. Okay. Now let's discuss some general properties of carbon. So the first property is nature. Carbon is a non-metal. Why? Because it has 4. You know that its atomic number is 6. And how you are going to distribute the electrons? 2, 4. Sorry. 2, 4. So 4 electrons in the outermost shell. So you know that the elements elements having 4 to 8 electrons, not 8, sorry, 4 to 7 electrons in the outermost shell are non-metals. So carbon is a non-metal. Solubility, how? Whether it is soluble or not, let's see. Carbon is insoluble in all known solvents. Okay, so it is insoluble. It is insoluble in all known solvents. Then tetravalency of carbon. A carbon atom completes its octet by sharing its 4 valence electrons with other atoms. You know that 2, 4, that means 4 valence electrons is there, and it shares its 4 valence electrons with other atoms. As a result, carbon atom forms 4 covalent bonds. Since it has 4 electrons in the valence shell, in the last or in the outermost shell, it can share its 4 electrons to its neighboring atoms. So as a result, carbon atom forms 4 covalent bonds by sharing valence electrons with other atoms. This is known as tetravalency. So why it is tetravalent? Because it has 4 electrons in the valence shell or in the outermost shell. You can see the figure, tetrahedral arrangement of the 4 valences of carbon. So tetra means 4. These 4 valencies of carbon are directed towards the 4 corners of a tetrahedron and are inclined towards one another at an angle of a 109 degree 28 inch. The carbon atom is assumed to be present at the center of tetrahedron. So tetra means 4. Since it has 4 electrons in the outermost shell or in the valence shell, it can share its 4 electrons with the other atom. It can share its 4 electrons with the other atoms, and these 4 valencies of carbon are directed towards the four corners of a tetrahedron, and in the middle, in the center, carbon atom should be present, and it makes an angle 109 degree 28 inch. So in common use, the four valencies of carbon are shown by four bonds around the carbon atom as shown alongside. You see the figure, you understood that. You can understand that one. Now, nature of compounds formed by carbon. Carbon always forms covalent bonds with other atoms. Okay, covalent bond. How covalent bond is formed? By sharing, by sharing of electron. Okay, so you know that carbon having 4 electrons, it can share 4 electrons, and when sharing happens or occurs, what bond is formed? Covalent bond is formed. So covalent bonds, it can form covalent bonds with other atoms. Therefore, carbon always form covalent compounds. So carbon always form what? Covalent compounds. Now let's see the catenation or self-linking property. Okay, so carbon has a unique property. Okay, it has a unique property which other elements generally not, which other elements in the periodic table, any other elements doesn't show. So carbon has a unique property by virtue of it, which it forms regular covalent bonds with other carbon atoms almost infinitely. Means what? This catenation or self-linking property is what? Leading to the formation of long chains and rings of carbon atoms is called catenation or self-linking. Means it has a unique property of linked among one another. Okay, it has a unique property and it can form long chains, ring structure or branch chains. So formation of chains, you can see there in the book. You can see that it forms straight chain also, it forms branch chain also, and it forms ring of carbon atoms. So now one question also arises in your mind, that why we are going to learn about only carbon particularly? Why the other elements we are not learning? This is only the reason that it forms many compounds, as in the beginning of this chapter also we have studied that it forms, nowadays we know about 5 million compounds. No, so that is why it has a huge importance today. So it forms many compounds like straight chain, branch chain, and it forms a very, very known compounds, and it forms. So that is why we are going to learn about this chapter. Many compounds are formed. If you make a straight chain, branch chain, ring of carbon atoms are formed. So, and this property shown by only carbon atoms, this catenation property, self-linking property is generally shown by this only carbon atoms. So that is why this chapter is very important and you should learn about this carbon and its compounds. Now this sixth property, allotropy. So carbon shows allotropy. You know, there are two types allotropic forms of carbon. One is amorphous form and the other one is crystalline form. Diamond, graphite and fullerenes are the crystalline forms of carbon. Coke, coal, lamp black, charcoal, etc. are amorphous or allotropic forms of carbon. Let's see this point. Adsorption on the surface of powdered charcoal. Powdered wood charcoal, animal or bone charcoal, sugar charcoal tend to accumulate gases and solutes from solutions on their surface. The accumulation of any substance on the surface of other substance is called physical adsorption. Adsorption means, you know, the accumulation or deposition. Not deposition is not the correct term, but I am telling you just to make you understand that the deposition of any substance, not inside the substance but on the surface of other substance. Like I am giving you an example. Suppose I have cotton, okay, and if I dip that cotton in the water, what you're going to observe, that it absorbs water. No, it absorbs and adsorbs both, because on the surface also water is present and inside the cotton also water is present. But adsorb is just opposite. It allows the substance, means suppose if I have a adsorbent and if I just dip that adsorbent substance in the water, what happen? It will not absorb, means inside water will not goes out. Only in the surface only the water will be deposited or accumulated. Okay, so the adsorbed substance can be released by heating. Charcoal powders are used in gas masks for removing harmful gases and for decolorizing oils, sugars. Let's see this activity in which you're going to understand about this concept, about this topic, adsorption. So to study the adsorption of ink materials, molecules in charcoal powder. So what materials you require? A reagent bottle with stopper, ink, blue or red, and charcoal powder. So what you're going to do, what are the procedure? You see, take a reagent bottle with stopper. Okay. Now pour about 100 ml of water in the bottle and add 2 to 3 drops of ink, that is blue or red ink, into it. The solution in the bottle gets colored. If you add the ink into it, what happens? The whole color of the solution gets colored. Now add about 2 gram of powdered charcoal powder into the colored water. Stopper the bottle, means if you have to just tightly packed the stopper into the bottle and shake the content thoroughly for about 5 minutes and allow it to stand. Okay, shake the bottle and allow it to stand. What you will observe? The color of the supernatant solution, just observe it. You can see that the color appears to be faded. Okay, why this color is faded? Because the shake, now you see this one, the 7th point, shake the contents of the bottle once again for another 5 minutes and allow it to stand. The color of the supernatant solution appears to have faded almost completely. What happened is, this charcoal powder adsorbs the color. This, you see what conclusions we have made, that this experiment shows that the colored particles or molecules of the ink were adsorbed on the surface of charcoal particles. So all the colors, all the ink which is present in the water is adsorbed by the charcoal particles. Adsorbed, not absorbed. Remember, adsorbed means it just take the color from the solution and stick into the surface of the charcoal powder. So this is all about adsorption. Okay, in the next class we are going to learn about chemical properties. So now you understand that why we study only carbon compounds? Why? Because carbon forms very strong bonds with itself. The chains and rings formed by carbon through catenation or through self-linking are not only long but also very stable. Thus the number of carbon compounds is so vast that there is one branch of chemistry dedicated only to the study of this carbon and its compounds. So this is all about the introduction of carbon and its compounds. In the next class we will discuss further this topic. Till then, just revise the topic what we have discussed today. Thank you.